Imagine a city where every street is a postcard, where the water reflects centuries of stories, and where once a year the whole world turns orange. Now imagine stepping outside that city into a garden so vast, so impossibly colorful, that it feels like the earth itself decided to put on a show just for you. This is the Netherlands in late April, and once you see it, you will never forget it. Amsterdam, a city built on impossible ambitions and wooden piles driven into a swamp. A place where 17th century merchants decided that beauty and commerce were not opposites, but partners. Walk along the Herengracht, the gentleman's canal, and you're walking through 400 years of prosperity. The canal houses lean slightly forward by design, so that furniture could be hoisted up through the facade without scraping the brickwork. Look closely, you can still see the iron hooks at the top of almost every gable. The Rijksmuseum looms at the southern edge of the canal ring, like a cathedral to Dutch genius. Even if you never go inside, its gateway is worth lingering in, a perfect arch framing museumplein where locals jog, skate and lie in the April grass as if nowhere else in the world exists. Cross the square and you reach the sleek black facade of the Van Gogh Museum, home to the world's largest collection of his works. The man sold only one painting in his lifetime. Today, millions come every year just to stand in front of the sunflowers. But Amsterdam is not a city to be seen only through glass. It breathes on its bridges, its bruggen, more than 1,200 of them scattered across the canal ring. Stand on the Magere Brug, the skinny bridge, at dusk and watch the lights flicker on across the water, one by one, like a city lighting candles for itself. The Jordaan neighbourhood pulls you in with its narrow alleys and almost accidental beauty. Boutique cheese shops, independent record stores, brown cafes with windows fogged from the warmth inside. This is where Amsterdam exhales, away from the crowds into something quieter and more real. And the bikes, thousands of them. There are more bikes than people in this city. They move with a casual authority that tells you exactly whose city this really is. There is something in Amsterdam that first-time visitors often miss. The city's obsession with small, perfect things. A hand-painted tile on a stoop, a house plant overflowing from a window ledge 6 floors above the street, a bicycle basket containing, improbably, a bouquet of tulips and a baguette, as if someone composed the scene deliberately. The Bloemenmarkt, the floating flower market on the single canal, has been selling flowers from floating stalls since 1862. Even today, the colors hit you like a wall, reds and yellows and impossible purples, filling the air with something that smells exactly like springtime should. Walk east into the Pijp neighborhood and you find the Cuyp market, the largest open-air market in the Netherlands, stretching for over a kilometer. Cheese stroop waffles, still warm from the iron, raw herring served with onions the way the Dutch have eaten it for centuries. This is a city that does not pretend its food culture doesn't exist. Look up often here, the roofiness tell you where you are in history. The step, neck, bell gables, each one a signature, a flourish of personality from a builder who wanted quietly to leave something behind. And then April the 27th happens, Koningsdag, King's Day, the day Amsterdam transforms into something that defies easy description. The entire city wears orange, the national color, the color of the Dutch royal house of Orange-Nassau. Every street, every canal, every bridge becomes a party, a market, a dance floor. The canals fill with boats, hundreds of them, packed with people, music, systems, laughter. The water itself seems to move differently, more alive, more chaotic and more joyful. There's no other day quite like it anywhere in Europe. The Vrijmarkt, the free market, means anyone can sell anything, and everyone does. Children dragging out their old toys, vintage vinyl records spread on blankets, strangers becoming temporary neighbors over a shared love of orange hats and cold beer. If you are ever in Amsterdam in late April and you have the choice, stay for King's Day. You will spend the rest of your life telling people about it. 30 kilometers south of Amsterdam, near the town of Lisse, the world changes color, Keukenhof. The name means kitchen garden, a modest name for the most spectacular flower garden on the planet. It opens for just 8 weeks a year, from mid-March to mid-May, and in that brief window, over 7 million bulbs come into bloom across 79 acres of immaculate parkland. More than 7 million. Let that number sit for a moment. The tulips come first, and they come in varieties you didn't know existed. Parrot tulips, their petals ruffled and extravagant like feathers mid-flight. Fringed tulips, edged with delicate lace. Black tulips, so dark they seem to absorb light. Triumph tulips, standing proud in perfect rows of red, purple, white and yellow that stretch further than your eye can comfortably travel. Late April is the moment most visitors consider the peak, the moment when tulips, daffodils, hyacinths and narcissi overlap in a kind of floral crescendo. The air carries the scent of hyacinths across open fields and underneath ancient beech trees. It is quite genuinely one of the most beautiful places on earth at this particular moment. The garden is designed so that every turn reveals a new composition, a mirror lake reflecting a border of deep red tulips, a windmill rising above a field of yellow, a wooded path lined with white blossoms that filter the April light into something close to magic. There are greenhouses too, and inside them the temperature and light are calibrated to push exotic varieties into impossible blooms. Orchids, dahlias, lilies in colors that seem digitally enhanced but aren't. Nothing here is accidental. The Dutch relationship with flowers is ancient and philosophical. These are the people who triggered the world's first speculative economic bubble. Tulip mania in the 1630s by trading tulip bulbs futures at prices that exceeded the annual salary of a skilled craftsman. They have since, perhaps wisely, decided that flowers are better appreciated than speculated upon. At Keukenhof, standing in the middle of a field of tulips with the spring light slanting across them, that decision feels entirely correct. Amsterdam and Keukenhof, a city that has refined the art of living for 4 centuries, and a garden that reminds you every spring why the world is worth paying attention to. If this video moved you, if it made you want to book a flight, leave us a comment below. Tell us which moment in this video made you want to pack a bag. Subscribe for more travel films from across Europe and don't miss our upcoming videos on the Dutch countryside and the best time to visit the Netherlands. The links are right below. Until next time, keep exploring.